Ask the Mayor Day. Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughan is joining us live in studio, and we're going to discuss all kinds of things.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to talk about crime stats. We're going to talk about affordable housing. We're talking about the new things coming to the city, including the new hockey team. What we want to make sure is that we ask your question as well. Mayor Vaughan is taking your questions. All you have to do is text us those questions to the number that's on the screen, 336-379-5775. All right, let's first and foremost, let's just tackle, I know every single time you come, you talk about the crime stats and you talk about what's happening, and that is one of the major issues that people think about is their safety.
It is, and actually yesterday there was an announcement that the city of Greensboro, we were doing Safer Streets Week. Because unfortunately we have had 39 people killed, either pedestrians or in a car accident, which actually mirrors the number of homicides that we have, and people don't really realize how they can contribute to the safety of our streets. You know, most people don't mind going a few miles over the speed limit, but if you look at those traffic cones, that represents a fatality so far this year. So that is what we are focusing on this week, to make sure that the streets are safer.
And so I know that there are some red light cameras.
Well, we are considering putting up 5 red light cameras. They would move throughout the year because after a while people get fatigued in those intersections. And last time we did it, people really didn't like that idea, but we are getting a lot of positive reinforcement. And people would actually like us to have speed cameras, but we don't have that ability yet. North Carolina doesn't have the ability for speed cameras. But the red light cameras will go a long way in help making areas safer, especially in those high crash areas.
Okay, and I know we got off a little bit on that about the crime stats. Were there certain stats that you wanted to talk about besides the traffic fatalities?
No, I really wanted to key on the traffic fatalities because that's where all of us can have an impact. You know, people don't think that maybe they're driving too fast, but the person next to them is. Well, you might be driving too fast too. And maybe you need to slow down in intersections and stop at a red light and not think you get a free one as you go through.
Okay, let's talk about the Regency Inn. This is one of those things that keeps popping up in the news where we were hoping that it would be a solution for those who homelessness is an issue for them. We weren't able to find people that we wanted for the Regency Inn.
Well, we weren't able to find a good partner with us. It is still a great solution. It's permanent supportive housing, and that is HUD's #1 way to help end homelessness. So as you can see, the building was taken down last week or the week before, and now there's an RFP out for other partnerships, people who will look at permanent supportive housing, and it's a large piece of property, so there could actually be other affordable housing units built on the site as well.
All right, and so that is one piece of those who deal with homelessness, the solutions that we're looking at. Then we need to talk about the IRC, and we need to talk about those pallet homes too.
Yes. So the pallet homes start, I believe it's the first week in December. The IRC is going to be managing that property. We are adding 2 trailers this year because we couldn't buy any more pallet homes because everybody else is buying them. But we were able to rent 2 trailers that have 11 individual living spaces. And so that'll add 22 to the pallet shelters that we have. People are referred by their caseworker to the IRC. And last year, 80% of the people who went into pallet shelters were able to find long-term housing elsewhere at the end of the program. And that is something that the caseworkers will work with them on, is finding that permanent home.
And let's talk about the IRC, because I know they had to cut back those hours. There was a lot of complaints when they were open those 24 hours.
So they're, you know, and I have to thank them for stepping up and trying to be part of the solution. It just didn't work. They really had so many people on that site, and it did become unsafe. There were over 1,000 calls to the Greensboro Police Department, over 300 calls to the fire department. EMS got to the point where they would not respond to the site unless they had a police escort. That just is untenable. I don't think that they were able to handle the number of people who were there. And it was their decision really to step back and go back to what they did best for 15 years before that, and that is a day center. and they'll be able to provide a greater range of services for the people who are at the day center, in addition to giving people, bathrooms and showers and laundry and place to get mail. But we hope that they'll go back to the original thing where they actually help place people in jobs, help them get medical treatment, worked on Social Security benefits. You couldn't do that with the number of people who were there when it was the 24/7 drop-in center. And it was not a nighttime shelter. There were no beds. If we have time, we have to say a big thank you to GUM, the Greensboro Urban Ministry, for really stepping up and reaching out to our faith leaders. Years ago, the faith leaders, there was a winter shelter that they would do. And so GUM reached out to 5 churches, though 5 of those churches immediately said yes. And that they will be doing sheltering from, I think it is the first week in December through April. And I'm sure that if there are other churches that would like to be a part of the program, they could reach out to the Greensboro Urban Ministry and get on that list, because we're gonna need more shelters. And when we talk about people being a part of the solution, that is what the faith community is stepping up to do. But for most of the week, their buildings go unfilled. Maybe for a day and a half, they've got a lot of people. But what they could help us throughout the entire week is to make sure that people have a place to go, that they've got a safe, warm place to sleep, and it's a great place for meal distribution. I know a lot of those churches would like some assistance when it comes to meals.